Are y'all on? Notice is hereby given pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Vernon's annotated civil statute, Article 625217, that the city of Smithville will conduct a council meeting and public hearing on July 14, 2025 at 6 p.m. at City Hall located at 317 Main Street, Smithville, Texas, 78957. I call this meeting to order. Councilman Durham. Sorry, Dunham. Sorry, I lost your name there. Please lead us.
Going to lead us in prayer. Father God, I just thank you for the opportunity to meet, the safety that we've been afforded here, the blessings we've been given. And I also ask that you give us wisdom and discernment as we meet as a council and city staff to be able to make decisions for the city. In your name we pray. Amen.
I know many of us are thinking about our friends and family in Hill Country, and it is very devastating when you sit and think about everything that unfolded Thursday night and then Friday morning. They never saw it coming, and it doesn't. I know everybody here in Smithville is praying for them. We are praying for them, and I know so many people here are there helping them try to restore as much as they can, and it's just crazy to keep reading stories and I know everybody here is praying for our friends, and I just wanted to let them know if we can do something. I hope they reach out to our city, and I can promise you our city manager will find a way to take care of it. So, thank you. Onward to the recognitions, awards, proclamations, announcement, and presentation. Certificate of Appreciation for 4th of July celebration. Mitch Jameson.
Thank you, Mayor. And I do see that some of the volunteers and sponsors that made this thing happen are here. And I appreciate y'all coming forward and giving us the opportunity to thank you for what you did. Kind of a synopsis, and I'm not going to read all these charts, Jennifer, but it was basically a group of citizens who got together because we as a council a couple of years ago decided that we didn't have the funding for the fireworks show and some other things. So these citizens got together, and I think, Jeannie, Ralph, I think the credit goes to you for the vision and the idea. Sorry, I know you didn't want me to recognize you that way. But they got together and formed a group and a committee of volunteers and decided they wanted to bring back the parade and bring back the fireworks, and got together with the VFW Post and Stephen Barthelme. And they made this thing happen. So if y'all come up and get the certificate from the mayor, and I'll read a couple of things, but the bottom line about, y'all come on up. What happened, and they never intended to have an economic impact on this thing, but the impact it had on economic development with the number of people that came down for the parade and went out to the VFW and got some free hot dogs and sold out some of the vendors a couple of times. And the kids had a water slide, and then the fireworks show was really nice. I mean, I figured we had over 1,000 people, and that was just this year. So it's just going to get nothing but bigger. Thank you very much.
Appreciation of a certificate to 4th of July celebration organizers, volunteers, and VFW Post 1309. A recognition and gratitude for the citizens, volunteers, sponsors, and the VFW Post 1309 who donated their time and money to create pride in our hometown and celebrate our nation's birthday. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you. Thank you. I know, I had already planned to go out of town, so I love it. All right, next. Proclamation for Parks and Recreation Month. Miss Kathy, will you lead us?
Whereas parks and recreation are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the city of Smithville. And whereas parks and recreation promote health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks. And whereas parks and recreation promote time spent outdoors, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being, and alleviating illness such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's. And whereas parks and recreation encourage physical activities by providing space for popular sports, walking spaces, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles. And whereas Parks and Recreation are a leading provider of healthy meals, nutritional services, and education. And whereas Parks and Recreation programming and education activities such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, and environmental education are critical to childhood development. And whereas Parks and Recreation increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas Parks and Recreation are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community. And whereas Parks and Recreation are essential and adaptable infrastructure that make our communities resilient in the face of natural disasters and climate change. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and whereas the city of Smithville recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources.
Now therefore, be it resolved, I, Sharon Forrester, Mayor of the City of Smithville, Texas, do hereby proclaim that July is recognized as Parks and Recreation Month in the city of Smithville. Come up here, girls. Take my glasses. Next item, where's Janice? Nope, I done skipped it. Oh, sorry, Jimmy, I forgot about you. Presentation for the Smithville Homecoming.
Now, this event happened at the end of last month, but we're honoring them because they mean so much to our community. This is the proclamation for Smithville Homecoming Week. Whereas the mayor and the city council of the city of Smithville, Texas, from time to time recognize distinguished and outstanding local individuals and families of Smithville. And whereas the Smithville Homecoming Week has been and continues to be a fixture in Smithville and the surrounding communities. And whereas family members gather every 2 years to visit with one another and share backgrounds and heritage with one another. And whereas family members are recognized as people who attended school, churches, and participated in all activities associated with growing up as members of this community. And whereas such descendants live throughout the United States and are proud and productive citizens throughout the United States and the world. And whereas the mayor, city council, citizens, friends, and local family members extend a warm welcome to the family members to Smithville, Texas, and wish them well on their reunion.
Now therefore, I, Sharon Forrester, Mayor, City of Smithville, Texas, proclaim June 27th through June 29th as Smithville Homecoming Week. Thank you. Now, is anybody here for the homecoming?
Don't think they're on.
I think you did a proclamation at the rec center for them.
Yeah, you did that with Lily and them? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I was honored to be invited and speak on behalf of the city and present that. So Yeah.
We'll get it to them. Thank you. All right, Janice, now I'm ready. Presentation from the Smithville Career Tracks.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor, citizens of Smithville. I want to say a few years back, I blew a whistle when I walked in here and said, get on the fast track to health. Well, now you're going to get on the fast track to career tracks. And we're going to give you a real quick update. I know Jennifer said I had 5 minutes. I said, 5 minutes? Oh, my God. Anyway, this is our team up here. And then I'm going to show you a real quick video of the progress of the Innovation Center, and we're going to really cut this at about 1 minute. So if you just turn around and take a look at what's been happening over here at the Business Innovation Center. If you've gone by in the last week or so, you're going to see they've got the frame up. This is just, we started taking pictures on January 7th, and eventually we'll be able to show you a time lapse, but we just thought maybe we'd do a little bit of work because this is what's been going on. We can see this out our windows every day. It's pretty exciting. And the team over there is doing a good job. They actually work a lot of hours. I noticed they're there till after 6, 7 o'clock some nights doing the work because there's been a lot of rain and they got to work around all the rain. You could turn it up a little. It's just motivate everybody. It's like walking. So it's really been exciting progress. If you think about it, it's been only about 6 months, you know, with the rain, and we're hopefully looking at completion. Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, but sometime the end of August, early September. And we are pending a grant that Jill Scruby wrote, and it's for USDA, and it's going to fund hopefully some things that are going to go inside, and it's going to fund a person to be able to run the Business Innovation Center. So we're really, really excited about this new project. And I believe they're going to start the entryway pavement to the this week if it stops raining. So anyway, a little bit about the Innovation Center. Thank you very much, City of Smithville. And Jill Struby for writing that TDA grant for almost $1 million. So if the citizens don't know, Jill Struby wrote that grant and you guys actually funded a big piece of this Innovation Center. So thank you very much.
What year was that? What year was?
21 maybe, 22.
What year did the Innovation Center? I know it was part of the chamber forever and ever. What year did you write the
2021 maybe?
Oh, I know. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
it was my first council meeting. I remember.
It was a long time ago.
it was a long time ago. I don't.
Okay, so the 2018 was the first part one of the grant because it went through the chamber and the city were connected to TDA. We got the grant to do the strategic plan, the resilience, economic development, strategic community. I know it's a lot of words. So that plan, out of that plan, TDA, there were 2 communities that got this. It was a pilot project. Smithville and LaGrange was the other community that got this. We were guaranteed funding for implementation on something from that plan. And so that grant process came through. I think it started, I think we first put in the first application in 21, 22. I'd have to go back and look. But it's been, you know, like here we are. So I think it
Reading this, it made me think, down in the chamber, when did this idea come, you know, like full circle, you know, and well, look where we are now and just growing.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry,
Thank you,
Janice.
Jill. No, thank you, Jill. My name is Janice Bruno, by the way. I'm the executive director for the for Career Tracks. I live at 800 Burleson. Anyway, that's just what's going on. I don't know if everybody knows. I think the council knows, but we're not just servicing Smithville. We're actually engaging, empowering, and employing employers and participants in 4 counties. So we're just not in Bastrop County, but we're also in Lee, Fayette, and Caldwell County. That's why you saw that first picture with the staff. I've got county coordinators in each county, and I've got case managers for each county. We are business employer driven, meaning we meet with businesses first. We find out what the businesses need. Right now, we're working with over 170 employers in the region. So we partner with them to determine what the requirements are. And then the final piece of this, we empower the student, we give them wraparound services, and then we employ the student and place the student. I'll be giving you a little bit of numbers later on in this presentation. So the needs in the 4 counties right now, and we're pulling us data off of Lightcast, is retail hospitality. I think most of you might recognize that. If you go to a restaurant, they're usually short-staffed. Unfortunately, but I'm going to give you some good news here in a minute, we did not get funding initially for retail hospitality, but just this last week, and this is through another grant, through the Texas Talent Opportunity Grant, starting 1 September, we're going to be working with 10 restaurants in Fayette County and Bastrop County through a Culinary Works program. We just received $331,000 for that grant. Thank you very much, Jill. And there was a team of us put that grant together with Workforce Solutions Rural Cap. We had tried a previous year, but we didn't get it. So we got it this last week, and we are going to do retail hospitality. So very exciting. The other area that is really large that we're training to is healthcare, and you'll see that as I go through the slides. Healthcare is the #1 industry in all 4 counties. I mean, we need healthcare in every part of that industry. And then lastly, we're looking at construction and skilled trades. Of course, we did not get money for the manufacturing sector, but that's on its way. Same thing with automotive. Next slide. Okay, so back since 2021, and Sharon, I'm glad you brought that up. A lot has happened since 2021, but you can see all of the various funding sources. The city of Smithville actually was the first, and that is about $100K just to get the career tracks up and running. At that time, it was the Smithville Workforce Training Center. So that was the seed money. And then you can see several other entities, the Hospital Authority Board, Union Pacific, Born Again Emporium, St. David's Foundation, Bastrop County Cares. The big grants were from Bastrop County, which is the American Rescue Plan Act. That was for $750,000. That grant will go away in about 12 months. And then the other big grant I'm going to talk about was the Good Jobs Challenge. We received money from Methodist Healthcare Ministries and several other grants that are listed up there. So you can see that we've been blessed. We have truly been blessed as an organization. People believe in what it is that we're doing to put participants into good paying prevailing wage jobs. Next slide. So as everybody remembers, we did a big ribbon cutting, and this was in 2022, and we were one of 32 grantees that received what was called the Reinvest Good Jobs Challenge Grant. You can see the list of occupations: CDL, plumber, welding, HVAC, nursing, IT, bookkeeping, and behavioral health. So our goal for that grant, of course, is to train 476 students and place them in jobs across the 4 counties. That grant will also go away in about 14 months. But we will make our mission for that particular grant. To date, I'm just going to give you to date on this, 415 we placed into training. 252 have successfully completed the training. 91 are currently in training, and 213 have been placed into prevailing wage jobs. Right now, the average is about $21 to $22 an hour. Next slide. So we were also blessed to receive money. This also includes the Methodist Healthcare Ministry, St. David's Foundation grants, in ARPA grant. In this particular, those 3 grants, we've been able to train 411 placed into training, 301 successfully completed, 30 currently are in training, and that's a combination of emergency management technicians and certified nurses. And we put 294 into employment. Now remember, we're going across the 4 counties. And you're going to see the big numbers here shortly. Next slide. So like I said, on the medical side, we've been running a great program through Regency Towers, which is now Well Essential, through the certified nursing program. We've run a certified med aid program. On our licensed vocational nurses, we'll have trained over 30 LVNs. We put $8,000 towards degrees for those programs in about 6 or 7 different educational schools, Victoria, Galen, University of Texas. I mean, we partner with a lot of the different providers that provide the nursing. And then, of course, registered nursing, we will have placed 30 by the end of the grant, and we paid up to $10,000 towards the degrees for nursing. Next slide. We've also partnered, like I said, we're in the other counties, so we've partnered with the retired nurses of Caldwell County, and Regency, of course, has been one of our biggest partners. And these are some of our students that have graduated. Next. So we also run graduations for every class, and we'll usually run those at the rec center, and/or we'll run those graduations over at the education building, which we got to do something about the flooding over there because we have a lot of students now and it's really getting bad. So I've just put a plug into on Olive Street. Yeah. Yeah. We every day we have about 22, 25 people in that building. And when it's been raining here, it's really, you got to figure out where you're going to park. Okay. Next. Allied Health. Let's talk a little bit about Allied Health. We've trained paramedics, advanced EMT, dental assistants. Now this field right now, we are going to max out, unfortunately, fortunately, as of this morning, we went to Commissioner's Court and it was announced that we received a $2 million grant from the St. David's Foundation for Healthcare Economic Mobility. And Donna Nichols, that money will pass through the Department of Public Health. And Career Tracks will train over 300 students in the next 2 years in allied health and in other healthcare related fields. That announcement was made at 9 o'clock this morning at Commissioner's Court, and they're going to do a formal announcement on Wednesday, this Wednesday. St. David's Foundation will put out a formal announcement. So we're really excited because these are the needs in the county. We're adding a new ESD. If you all haven't heard, we're going to be putting more ambulances in. People are screaming for emergency management technicians, advanced, especially with what's going on with our weather. These are really needed occupations out in the counties, and there is a shortage. So we're trying to fill the need. Next slide. So we partnered with Texas Public Safety Training Academy. We currently have classes going on right now for emergency management technician and advanced emergency management technicians. Our paramedic training has been conducted through Blinn College. Next slide. Dental Assisting Options is a school that's over in LaGrange. We partnered with them for dental, and we've also partnered with West Texas A&M. They have an extended study program where dental assistants can train online for dental. The program's going fantastic over in LaGrange. We've run 3 cohorts through about 10 or 15 students, and the price is right. Kathy Simic is the instructor. She does an amazing job. She's been there about 25 years. So we've got a great relationship with her, and they're pumping out dental assistants. So if you go to the dentist, you might want to ask if they're one of our students. Next slide. It's our last graduating class. Next slide. Okay, LCDCs, which is our licensed chemical dependency counselors. You might not know that we got money for this, but we have several recovery centers in the region: Banyan, Last Resort, Willow Springs, Unplugged, Austin Pines, and Prairie Recovery. So we've been training LCDCs to be technicians in the recovery centers, which is key. I mean, they're hurting too for people. This is a year-long course, and we're paying for the students to complete this course, and we're using personal integrity education and counseling services. There wasn't anybody local that did this. We would have had to go to Houston or have an instructor come from Houston. We're using Miss Charity Rogers, who has this business of PIEC, and she is our counselor and teacher for this course. Next slide. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Ramon Rivera. He's our Caldwell County coordinator. He's going to talk a little bit about our skilled trades and what we've been able to do with skilled trades in the 4-county region. Ramon. But before that.
Yes. Well, thank you once again, Council and Major, for having us this evening. You know, skilled trades will be done in CDL, HVAC, plumbing, electrician, and welding. We were working with local companies to develop and upscale their current employees as well. We partner with William Career Excellence, and they have blessed us to come all the way from San Marcos, Texas, to come here to Smithfield to conduct HVAC classes. So we established a relationship, and when I say we, I'm proud to say that I established that relationship, and they said, you know what, Ramon, we're gonna go to Smithfield, Texas, and do HVAC classes for you guys. So we had a few classes here. We are looking forward to continue to do that as well. As far as CDL, we continue to partner with ATDS Trucking, where we work with them and help them out also to establish themselves in Giddings, Texas. So we don't only provide services and recruit and train people, we also work with our partners to come to the rural community to establish themselves, and that is economic development for us as well. As far as also we do, this past year, we have work on developing coalitions. We developed the IT and banking coalition, and those coalitions, we gave the opportunity to meet with subject experts and community leaders where we identified the different needs for IT and banking industry, and also the different pathways to accomplish those goals. In the past few months, Career Track have had the privilege to support and put together the Rural Whole Health Coalition meetings in Lockhart, Texas, where we partner with FLBC, where they provided their connection center or facilities to conduct this event. In this event, we had about 50 leaders that represented different organizations and a guest speaker that presented suicide awareness. So when also, on top of what we do, we partner with other organizations and help them put together their events. And we also had already put together the event in September 15 coming up in Flatonia for the Rural Health Whole Health Coalition, and we already had a speaker and a sponsor, and also we already had planned and put together the event for December 15 for the Rural Whole Health Coalition that will be conducted in Round Top, Texas. So we are privileged to serve our community, not only in the industry of training, but also providing services and identifying the rural health need in our areas. Back to Jadis.
Okay, next slide. I promise it's almost over. So just a little bit on CDL. At first, we partnered with ACC with a company called Ancora. That just wasn't working out, to be quite blunt. So we got a partnership with the company called ATDS out of Waco, and these guys ended up bringing their company and their trucks and their trainers to Giddings, Texas. We did look for space here. They went ahead and leased a space in Giddings, Texas. So our students go to Giddings for this training. It's a 6-week training. It costs $5,500 per student. We've been very, very successful. We've trained over 130 CDL drivers. Our goal is to place 140. I think we can do it in 14 months. We'll probably exceed our goal for CDL. And CDL is another one where they take the training and we get them a job pretty much instantly. And those are way higher than prevailing wage. They're making good money, $33, $35 an hour. Next slide. These are just some pictures of the graduation, the ribbon cutting in Giddings. Ramon mentioned this is our recent HVAC class that we just went ahead and graduated, and that was through Williams Career School, and we're doing HVAC training out of the Education Center there on Olive Street. So those students are meeting 3 nights a week, plus we've got CNA training there every day. So we've got a lot of usage out of that building. We actually need probably some more space. Next slide. And then, like I said, public safety's been working with us. We've done EMT, paramedic, firefighters, and security guards. We've trained over 52 security guards through the Texas Public Safety. Next slide. Ramon mentioned we do bookkeeping. We currently have about 25 students that have taken our bookkeeping class. And if they want to go on and get a national association, we've got funding to do that. Next slide. So here are our outcomes for 2022, 2025. We totally have placed 830 into training. 553 have successfully completed, and we've got 120 in training. So we've placed 91% within the 4 counties, 507 participants. Now, you might want to say, well, what's that prevailing wage for all of those students? And we ran the numbers. It's about 22, 23 is the average per hour. And then the next question you might want to say is, well, what's the retention? I'll have an answer to you next time. because they stay normally, we track them for 6 months. We're required to track for 6 months. We use a program called AGS Prime. It's like a $25,000 database that we were given through the grant. It's amazing. So we can run all sorts of reports. But in just a short period of time, because we really didn't kick off till the end of 2022, in 2 years, we've placed over 507 students within the 4 counties. And this is rural, remember? Next slide. So looking ahead, where we go from here, we've got our great Business Innovation Center. Born Again Emporium right now funds our operations. I just mentioned the $2 million grant through St. David's Foundation. We're not going to get the full $2 million, but we definitely are going to benefit about $700K just to do all the training and to manage the medical just for Bastrop County. Okay, that doesn't include the other 3 counties. We received Reinvest, which is the one for skilled trades and all those other occupations. We've got that grant until September of 2026. We just received the Methodist Healthcare Ministries grant 6 months ago that I wrote. It was $250,000. That's going to place 110 students into healthcare jobs within Caldwell, Fayette, and Bastrop County. We received a $40,000 OSHA safety training grant. We've trained over 200 people in OSHA 10 and 30. We received, Fayette County gave us $15,000 for Stop the Bleed and CPR training in Fayette County. The coalition building right now through the Rural Whole Health was about $190K. We're starting to manage that particular coalition. The Texas Talent Opportunity, $331,000. I didn't put all the numbers because, they could change. And then you'd have it in writing. The Greater Fayette Community Foundation was $15,000. And then, of course, we've had several business partners in the community that have given us funding for scholarships. And we're still looking for businesses that would like to, give scholarships. And there's a way to do that on the City of Smithville website. It's called See My Legacy. So we've got a lot going on, and hopefully that gives you a lot of information, probably too much, and you're ready to move on. Next slide. So how can you help? Those folks in the audience, become a partner, attend our meetings, our coalition meetings, become a sponsor at a program graduation, donate any funds, equipment, time, talent, expertise, and then help us recruit or send employees to one of our programs. Next slide. Any questions? Because I know you have a lot to cover tonight.
Of course, Mayor, if I may, thank you, Janice, so much. I'm watching the evolution and the progress that y'all have made from workforce training to career tracks, and you quickly become, I think, an example for the 3-pronged approach that we might have in the future between regional workforce and regional healthcare and regional airport. I think we've got some great momentum and some hopefully good announcements coming here in the future. But the question I had was based on the Innovation Center as we move forward toward completion. What are the plans for who's going to occupy it and who's going to manage it?
I think that's a separate briefing. I mean, right now, I believe Robert wants career tracks to actually manage, but we don't, we have an MOU with the city. It's a 7-year MOU. It includes the Innovation Center. And we have the grant that Jill just wrote for $190,000. If we get that grant, we'll be okay. If we don't, we have to have a discussion with the city of Smithville on what we're going to do. We're going to look for other grants. And there's other opportunities. We did have an institute that came down that might want to lease some space, but I think that would be for a different kind of brief to give you an overview as we get closer. But you're right, we don't have a whole lot of time. We might have 2.5 months, and we want to be ready.
Look forward to the updates.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
all.
You gave us a lot of great information. Ah, Susie, what you've been waiting for. Presentation from Chamber of Commerce, the hot tax.
Okay. All right, well, good evening, Council, Mayor, City Manager, Susie Cannon on behalf of the Smithville Area Chamber of Commerce. We are the delegate for the hotel occupancy taxes that are collected on short-term rentals that occur within the municipal boundaries of the city of Smithville. And we have the responsibility and the honor to execute um, uh, uh, marketing and programming in keeping with tax code 351. So that's a financial report. And I also included just a real simple document of accomplishments for this year. And I just have some talking points so that I don't get completely off track. And I'll just kind of walk us through what we've done. The last time that I was here was in March. And we've made some meaningful progress on a number of different initiatives since then. Number one, outreach to our lodging operators. You may remember that our city manager made a presentation on that same evening. And as part of his presentation, there was a spreadsheet with a list of the local lodging locations that had been identified, I'm assuming by Avenue Insights. And I used that spreadsheet and went to the Bastrop County Tax Assessor Collector website to confirm correct mailing addresses for all of those physical locations. And we sent out letters. We used newly created Visit Smithville, Texas letterhead. And so 31 letters went out to those property owners, inviting them to engage with our tourism program. Next, we've also made some significant strides in website engagement and communication tools. We have added a pop-up survey to the Visit Smithville, Texas website so that we can garner some feedback from folks about either their interest in our town or visits that they've had or that they're planning. And it's one of those real easy to click off pop-up surveys. It's not going to be obtrusive. We don't think that it's going to be a barrier to people navigating the website. If they don't want to participate, they don't have to. We've also worked in a contact form, which is conveniently located at the bottom of the homepage on the website. So people can just directly send a message through our website. We also included a way for people to attach a photo and upload it. Again, for more engagement, which we hope to use on social media. I'll get to that in a moment. We also established a dedicated email address, which is welcome@visitsmithvilletx.org, which gives this program a professional identity and it's separate from other chamber efforts. So this is all an attempt to be more accessible to visitors and local stakeholders. We have also, I found a version of the logo. You'll see it on the top of that page right there. The other direction, Jennifer, thank you so much. So we've been using that logo, but I found another version of it that has the word Texas tucked right there under the LLE. And so we're using that one now, and we will be using that consistently. And how that came up was when we went to register to get email. We couldn't get email for the domain that we had been using because Smithville, Tennessee was using it. So we thought, all right, well, we need to be consistent in our branding, and now is the time to do it versus later on down the road. So we purchased the domain visitsmithvilletx.org, and so that is the public one. Visitsmithville.org still works. It just points to the one that has the TX. So we will be consistent in our branding with that. The last time I was here, I was talking about being deep in the trenches on distributing the copies of the 78957 magazine. And so making manual phone calls to chambers of commerce and CVBs, which stands for Convention Visitor Bureaus across the state of Texas. I can personally attest that I have hand-packed and shipped over 400 copies of the magazine all across the state. We also, as I reported before, received approval for the magazine to be hosted in all 10 of the travel information centers, the TxDOT travel information centers all across the state. 960 copies have been shipped to them. But it was time to bring in somebody that can do some of the heavy lifting. So we have contracted with Certified Folder Display Service, and they will be distributing 6,500 copies of the magazine, specifically in hotels, convention centers, car rental agencies. It's over a 6-month period. It started in June and will go through the end of November. And the coverage area that we were able to purchase includes Williamson, Hayes, Bayhar, Travis, and Harris counties. So that's going to basically run us out of that version of the magazine, and which is exactly what we want. We want it to be well circulated and distributed. Let's see, I've also been working on purchasing some advertising space on trusted and highly trafficked travel tourism platforms. We started a banner ad on the texashighways.com, and the third page in what I submitted to you includes a screenshot and shows what our ad looks like on the Texas Highways website. This particular ad is running for the whole month of July, so if you want to check it out for yourself, you can. This is what's called lifestyle tourism. It's showing you an opportunity to maybe turn back the hands of time and find yourself an old Chevy truck and park there by the river and have some actual authentic peace and quiet. And it also asks you to consider making Smithville your next stop, which is the kind of phrase that we're coining right now. We don't have to be married to it for forever, but it's a cute nod to our railroad heritage. And it's memorable and it's easy to understand. Smithville, your next stop. That is a click-through ad, meaning that when people see it, whether on their phones, tablets, or on the website, when they click on it, it takes them directly to the Visit Smithville, Texas website. We are guaranteed 25,000 impressions during the month of July with this ad. By the way, it costs $800. And if we don't get the 25,000 during the month of July, they keep our ad live until we do. We are also enrolled to have ad space with them again in the month of October, not the same ad. I'm working on a design for that. We have also, we're also purchasing some ad space centered around the market for the fall 2025 Round Top Warrenton Antique Show. We are on practically the back door of that location, and we know that it's a mecca for people that come. And so we are buying some print advertising in the Show Daily magazine, and we're buying digital ad space on roundtop.com. Our messaging with that advertising is shop the show, but wind down with us. So for the print advertising, it will have a QR code in it. And again, that QR code will take you directly to visitsmithvilletexas.org. The ads on roundtop.com, same concept, click through, takes you to the website. We're getting ready to start a large videography and photography campaign. In fact, the videography starts, the filming starts this Saturday, and the result will be 16 short form reels to be used across social media. We'll also be breaking into the TikTok platform to reach the new generation of travelers and travel planners. We'll also be branding the hashtag Visit Smithville TX. We'll be using that consistently in our social media, and we'll also be tracking that hashtag for usage. Public images that people share using that hashtag, having a wonderful time in our town, gives us an opportunity to share their content and create synergy between our content and theirs as well. The professional photography shoot, the first day of that is Saturday, July 26th. I have put together an enormous shot list for that lady. And we will be using that to refresh the website as well as in future marketing materials. Also been working on the Wayfinder kiosks. There are 3 Wayfinder kiosks that are located on Main Street. They are actually a City of Smithville asset. I believe that Jill obtained a grant for those using Texas Commission on the Arts. And they were installed sometime in 2021, and they've not been updated since. So I conducted an audit of the businesses located within the footprint of the 2 different maps that are on the directory, and working with the artist, or the designer, excuse me, Mr. David Campa, and we're getting those updated, and we should have the new directories and maps installed on those kiosks within the next 30 days. So that will give our in-person foot traffic on Main Street and up a current resource for them to guide them around downtown. We've activated Google Analytics on our website, and we purchased a subscription that allows us to make dynamic QR codes. So like when I tell you that there's a QR code on like that Show Daily ad or things that are in print, we can then get data and feedback on the usage of those QR codes. Again, it's all just trying to track that engagement. Where are people coming from? Where are they finding us? What resources are they most using so that we can become more and more helpful to them? And then the other really big project that I plan to hopefully deploy and complete during the month of September is we will be launching Smithville on tourtexas.com. So Tour Texas is the state travel platform. I attended the Governor's Small Business Summit a few weeks ago in Bastrop, and I went over to the folks that were manning the booth at the Economic Development and Travel or Tourism booth for the state of Texas, and I asked them what their best practices are, and they said, "Is your town on Tour Texas?" And I said, "I've already met with the sales rep, and we're in queue to go live in September." So that will be a destination profile. We'll have 4 pages and work with them on the content that goes on those 4 pages. So that's what we've been up to. Very busy, a lot of really good things, very well-rounded approach, in-person, digital, print, contact with our lodging operators, which it won't just be a one and done. I will continue to do that. And do you have any questions?
I'd like to add that when I first started working with you in 23, when I got elected and we started working on the STRs and everything, just wow, you have taken this from not very much advertising to a major advertising point, not just online, but in person and in our city. Wonderful.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you. I love it. I'm very passionate about it. And we are all tourism. We are all tourism. How we treat people when they come, how we interact with people at Brookshire Brothers and at our local dining. We are all tourism. We are all representatives of our town. And I really believe in that. Anything else or?
I got one more, and thank you for the effort you put forth because this is an awesome update. My question may be better directed to city staff in terms of the forecast for what are we on pace for? We're okay for the 50,000?
Yes, sir.
And in terms of collecting the non-payers, is that Insights
Avenue.
Yes, it is.
Avenue? Are we making any progress?
The good news is the 31 you quoted is now 42.
I'll be asking for an updated report
So
then.
be happy to do that as part of the upcoming budget meetings.
Thank you.
I'd go ahead.
I didn't comment on the financial report. So I will be checking with Cynthia because it's about time for us to put in an invoice for our Q3 draw, which just wrapped up with the end of June. This report does contain, this is reconciled as of the bank statement of June 30th, but I will tell you that there's a few things that didn't clear. There's a few expenses. So these Q3 figures, there's a few more things that I expect to change these numbers a little bit. But that's where we at. And we have a few, advertising's expensive. So there's a few more big expenses coming in. Thank you all very much.
Very happy you were able to customize the, Smithville, your next stop.
That's cute.
There are at least 27 Smithvilles across the United States. So
Yes.
glad you tailored it to us.
Yes, and let's do it early before we do all of this other stuff. Let's do it now and have consistent branding going.
Very nice.
Susie, I'm a big fan. You're just invaluable to the chamber and you're just a rock star. We're not paying you enough, but thank you for everything you're doing.
I attended the Governor's Small Business Summit. I paid my own $20 ticket. I split my time between the chamber and between another nonprofit right here in Smithville where I do donor development and fundraising for them. So I work for 2 nonprofits, half time and half time. And I was not on the clock for anybody. I went because I'm genuinely interested.
I do have a couple of things.
Yes.
again, much to Mitch's point, Councilman Jameson's point, as a marketing executive, I definitely was very concerned with where things were a couple years ago. And I think the progress that's been made in the past 18 months is very commendable, especially for a small town. It's hard to get companies in large cities to really appreciate what you need to do. And so I definitely can see that things are headed in the right direction and moving very quickly. And just the fact that you're unifying the brand is really great. I would just anecdotally advise that you pay a lot of attention to actual traffic that these impressions are generating rather than just purely impressions.
Yes.
Just simply because you can waste a lot of money just chasing impressions. But other than that, I think that even the magazine, I've always been a fierce critic of the magazine, but the fact that y'all are finally getting it out into these places, it is, I think, headed in a direction that is definitely going to be very sustainable.
I want to thank publicly Adina Lewis. I think a lot of us, she's a champion to a lot of us in this room. Adina Lewis, Bastrop County Tourism and Economic Development. She's been a tremendous mentor to me. And as well as Ashton LaFuente at Visit Bastrop. They always take my calls, always take my emails, as well as some other chambers of commerce that are the delegate for Hot Funds. I'm always on the hunt for best practices and successful campaigns that others are doing, and how can we honestly rip off and duplicate and be successful here in Smithville. Thank you all so much.
I like to rip off and duplicate. That's pretty funny. Yes. Okay, I remember where I am. Thank you. Approval of the minutes from June 9th, 2025 council meeting and public hearing, and June 18th, 2025 special call council meeting and budget workshop. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I got a question after we
Discussion?
move in second.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the minutes for the June 9th, 2025 council meeting and public hearing, and the June 18th, 2025 special call council meeting and budget workshop.
I'll second.
Mayor, one point, if I could ask the city secretary to add on the ordinance appointing Planning and Zoning Commission to serve as the Impact Fees Advisory Committee. If you don't mind adding that I had advocated for addition of a citizen subject matter expert or experts.
Think you'll need to make a motion to amend the motion. You'll make an amendment to
Because you're
it. Yeah.
changing it, so you need to make an amendment.
Yep.
You need that? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to move that we amend the minutes to reflect that for the ordinance appointing the Planning and Zoning Commission to serve as the Impact Fees Advisory Committee, that Councilor Jameson advocated for addition of citizen subject matter experts.
So we have a new motion, so now we need an. Don't I all in favor and then I repeat it?
Yeah.
So I need a motion to accept, no. Motion's been made. I need,
I'll second.
motion's been made and seconded, and then you need to reread the motion, Mitch. No, he does because it's long and I can't write that fast, so reread it. I can't write that fast and that's hard. So reread your.
I gotta go back to Councilor Washington's original motion, which was, well, I believe the original motion was approval of the minutes from the June 9th, 2025 council meeting and public hearing, and the June 18th, 2025 special called council meeting and budget workshop with the amendment offered.
And now he needs to read the amendment again, correct? Yes, that was what you sent. Yes, so reread. the
Okay,
amendment
for
now.
again, for the amendment. Add to the discussion and action on an ordinance appointing the Planning and Zoning Commission to serve as the Impact Fees Advisory Committee that I, Counselor Jameson, advocated for addition of citizen subject matter experts.
All in favor? It is approved. General public comment. How many we got signed up?
I've got two signed, oh, just one. John Schindler.
Mr. Schindler, where are you? Did he doze off? There you are. Welcome. Please state your name. You're really tall, so you may have to hold the mic up. I know, you're really tall. God gave you a gift. Oh, no.
I never learned.
Right.
I prepared a speech for you guys this time. I was going to ask council for more time than 3 minutes. And I practiced it on my wife and she says, when are we moving? So I reconsidered and I figured I'd just talk to you a few minutes from the heart here. You remember last month I came in and I talked about property taxes and those things going on. I said that I won't be gentrified from my property. And I asked all you guys to give me a call because I'd like to talk to you all about it. I did meet with Kathy a little bit after the meeting and we talked and I said, well, you don't have to give me a call, but some of your older guys here, I was kind of hoping to get a call from y'all and I didn't get one. That kind of made me a little bit unhappy because when I think I have something to say to some folks, I kind of expect somebody to listen. And I get unhappy when they don't. So I'm requesting this time for y'all to get one person here that y'all think could sit down and talk to me about some things, because we're going to talk about property taxes. I know a lot about property taxes. I probably know more about the history of property taxes than anybody you're going to talk to. I had invited 2 other people to come here and give a little talk to you guys. And they were probably the most knowledgeable people I have ever talked to in my life. And fortunately, they've agreed to come back and do a little seminar here. If we can figure out how to get this thing done, to let all you guys know just what really is going on. And you can be grateful for one thing. I had a little song I was going to sing to you when I first walked in, but then we had trouble with this microphone. So I'll just sing it to you now. It goes, I've been cheated, been mistreated. When will I be loved? Second thing I was going to say is, I'm not from the government and I'm here to help. And I would really appreciate y'all figuring out one person who can talk to me. It's going to take some time. And when he leaves, I imagine he's probably going to think a whole lot in the realm that I think and what the things I believe in. And then it's going to be up to him to convince the rest of you guys that I know what I'm talking about, because I'm only going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to fabricate it. I'm not going to stretch it. It's going to be the truth, and I'll bring you any of the receipts that you need on it. But guys, we need to start paying attention to what our government is doing to us on property taxes. It's not going to affect the city that much. It's probably not going to affect the county, but the school district here is going to have to wonder just what in the world happened. So I'm going to ask you one more time to please give me a call, set up a time where we can talk. I don't know which one of y'all it will be, but if y'all would do that, I would certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'll close the open meeting, go into the public hearing. Anybody,
I have Kat Coronado signed up to speak under the public hearing.
Kat Coronado, come on down.
What's this one?
Bumper. No, you're probably going to speak until oh, he turned it off. Turn it back on.
Okay.
Green light one. You're on.
All right.
Good evening.
You're
And I'm actually here to talk about the naming of the alley to Bumper Road. My name is Cap Coronado, and I'm opposed to the naming of the alley to Bumper Road. I've lived on my property all my life. My parents owned the property before me. And I've always felt safe on our property with just the alley back there. I'm raising my family with 3 kids. And again, they played back there, always felt safe. And then recently there was some builders that building 2 houses back there. And since they started building, there's been damage to my fence, continued damage to my fence, and it just don't feel safe back there anymore. And my concern is whenever people start living back there, that it's going to continue to happen and nobody's going to take responsibility. I'm not aware of any other alleys, at least around the area that I live in, that have been turned into a road. They've always been alleys back there. And again, it feels safe with this alley because there's no traffic. Before the builders started building back there, really there's nobody ever went back there. So it felt real safe. And there's always traffic going back there now. And I'm just concerned it's going to continue even worse whenever people start living back there. I do want to mention that there are other options besides doing the road back there. I mean, the property that the builders built the 2 houses there's a property at the front on Jones Street. They can always make a private entrance there. There's also land that's adjacent to the property that's for sale right now. They can always buy that and make a private entrance, which if they did that, it would be no effect to me because there will be no increase of traffic back there in the alley. Again, I would like the alley to remain the way it is with hardly any traffic going back there without a road being built. Again, thank you for your time and listen to my concerns. And that's it.
Thank you. Okay, I'll close the public meeting and go back into the open meeting. Discussion and action on ordinance naming an existing alley to Bumper Road with the city limits of the city of Smithville.
Okay, Mayor and Council, approving this ordinance would allow Bastrop County 911 GIS to formally assign an emergency service address to 2 new homes that only have access from the alley. Whether you name it Bumper Road or something else, this is how they're going to get to their property. And I do think it's fitting that, I'll be honest, we came up with the name Bumper Road because it's between Jones and Hill at 7th Street. And this is to honor our past municipal judge, Ron Bumper Jones, who passed away 7 years ago. Do you have any questions? The owner, by the way, the owner of the property will be responsible for covering the cost of developing the road.
I have one question. I know there have been other alleys that have been turned into roads in this city, has there not? Especially over off of I can't remember the name of the street, but it's off Colorado. You come down, there's 2 streets that make a circle, and there's an alley right there that's named as a road because it's an alley. It's not really, it had to be named a road because there's houses back there. Am I true in that, Robert?
Yeah, Attorney Lane area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so there is a precedence for this.
Who's paying for the road?
The developers, the owners of the 2 houses that are going in. So it's not a cost to the city with respect to developing that out.
But city will maintain?
Yes, turned over to us.
Just as a statement of fact, Robert, if you would address the previous speaker's concerns, not.
About traffic, about increased traffic?
Yeah, I
Well,
don't have a clear picture of the.
It is not a through street. I mean, there's an exhibit
Yeah,
right here.
I've got that, and he spoke during public hearing, so we couldn't ask questions, but.
All I can say is look at the exhibit and see that it pretty much dead ends to other property. So it's to give access to the two homes that are going to be built if they haven't already started yet.
Are they going to be located, Robert, the two new homes?
Yeah, which two of those plats?
Which,
It's the two little here.
those two?
These two right here.
Okay.
Yes, it's kind of. the
And this is a
triangle.
different owner. This is, or these are not owned by all the same people. These two properties are the Baron.
I can't hear.
They have access on.
Yes, it's,
This property has access on Jones and I don't believe is affiliated with the Barons that are building homes here. So there's no way they could do a private road from Jones Road to their properties.
I have a couple of questions.
that,
How do, you can see that there's that building right at the corner. And as someone who owns a corner lot, you're now adding a third corner to that lot. How is that going to affect setbacks? How is that going to affect view distances? You also have the width of the street is significantly more narrow and bumper than you see on the others. Thinking about fire threat, I understand there's only a few houses here, and I believe that's the school district's property there. Is there any concern about access into this road, about being able to navigate a truck in there if it needs to be able to get in there? All those kind of questions for emergency response.
yeah, it'd be a normal, it'd be a.
Yeah, it'll be a standard
Standard road,
width
60
road that you better
foot.
get something down. You'll have to back out. And that's several situations, even going in some alleys, you have to back out. But it needs to be wide enough to allow that traffic.
Which two lots are under construction?
As far as setbacks,
Those two right there. The one that's the smaller and then the one that has the, I would call it a driveway to the road.
That's the ones we gave the variance for a couple of months ago, right?
Yes.
Yes.
but to Councilmember Dunham's question, I don't know if we've checked the setbacks at the corner, because it now becomes, we're making it a corner lot. And what is the distance between that road and that structure? And is the structure still there? That's another.
No, it would be grandfathered in. The structure's there.
Okay.
So that's grandfathered in.
Grandfathered.
Now, if the lot 17817 or 818 develops, they would have to abide by our setbacks, being that that's a road. Just like these guys already got their permits, they're grandfathered in. They've met the setbacks that were required before Bumper Road was there. The other ones, the other structures will not have to comply to the setbacks because they're grandfathered. Unless something happens, if it gets destroyed 50% or more, or if they add improvements to their lots, they would have to abide by the setbacks that are created with Bumper Road.
So I guess this potentially will affect the zoning of some of these roads. Does this need to go through P and Z?
It would not.
Wouldn't-
Sorry.
It won't impact the zoning. Zoning's already been established.
It would impact their setbacks, so right on the 17818.
Not in the pre-existing non-conforming use, it's grandfathered, but if they do anything in this particular 17818, yes, that would be looked at that time.
Because it's kind of raw land, that's not going to be affected right now. They'll have to come in and they'll have to build to the existing, which the road would be existing then.
My only, I guess through I don't know what this is zoned as, but if it's anything similar to mine, my only comment would be that the setback on the rear of that property in SF2 or mixed
SF2.
residential is going to be a few feet. It's going to be potentially up, down to 3 feet. And now if you're putting a road, that potentially would push it 20, 25 feet that is not buildable on that lot.
On the new or the existing lot?
The
where structure is.
17818, the
Yeah.
one that looks to not have anything on it.
No, as Jennifer said, it's undeveloped, yes?
It's not developed that I know of, and we usually go by the name street, which I know both of them are gonna be name street, but we're probably gonna be going off of Jones Road, not Bumper Road, as their front yard and rear yard. So their front yard would be Jones Road and it'd be 25 foot back from that front yard, Jones Road, not Bumper Road.
Yeah, it'd go off the main thoroughfare, which would be Jones.
That's where they.
That's where your main setback is.
Are we up against a time constraint on this?
They're building.
They're building.
Yes.
I'm just not totally comfortable with understanding it right now.
And that was when they came through to plat
Yes.
this out. This was discussed at that time, and everybody kind of shook their head, yeah. And now we're naming the street because of 911 addressing. And
Yeah.
so as far as time constraints, I don't know what their schedules are, but the
They like
expectation.
to sell some homes with the 911 address, don't you? And
Can we get them to come up? You want to come up to the mic, please?
I just don't want to ignore the
But
the
that-
comments from the speaker earlier during the public hearing. I don't want you to think that we weren't hearing what you said, so that's why we're having these discussions right now.
Absolutely. My name is Cameron Barron, as a representative of Barron Homes.
I'm Dane Barron. And to answer the question, yes, the homes are already, after we've received our building permits, we've already started.
Yeah.
They're there right now, so we look to close on them mid-August right now to be finished. And in order to get our occupancy, or certificate of occupancy to establish anyone to live there, this is something that we were told needs to take place before the road, it has to be approved before the road can be built.
Needed to have a 911 address, and as of right now, the working address we have is a 704 7th Street, and it's just an alleyway, just like y'all said.
Yeah, it's not a real address.
Aren't we obligated to approve this, seeing as how we approved the permit
Beginning.
previously?
that
I
was a
mean-
year ago.
I have no problem making a motion if we're ready to go. Okay, let me get to where I'm supposed to be here. I make a motion that we approve the naming of a street bumper road located between Jones Road and Hill Road at 7th Street.
I'll second that motion.
I'd
Discussion.
like to add a comment.
Okay.
I am not against this road being named. I do think that it is appropriate to give the owner of the other property the ability to have comment and go through the P and Z process. I think that is my one concern with this is they're not being afforded that opportunity right now.
Just a statement of fact, it did go through the P and Z process when the plat was redone, and we all, P and Z recommended approval, the council approved
Recommended
it.
approval.
So you're,
This is
you're kind of stuck,
road.
I mean, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the other thing, the empty lot, they wouldn't, unless they're gonna build on it, they're not gonna come to P and Z until they're ready to build. So there's really no complication for that, period.
So it remains, I have a first and a second, all in favor? Opposed? Okay.
I'm not
Then
voting.
Mitch recused himself? Is everything correct?
Abstained, he's abstained.
Abstain, sorry. Okay, we're good.
What was the vote?
It's 3-2, 3-1,
3-1,
3-1.
abstain.
Okay,
And
next
abstain.
item on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item. Almost, let's see.
Number 11.
Thank you. Number.
We're on 11.
Number 11?
Gotta go back one.
Number 9 was the buffer.
Oh, did the numbers get off?
In action. Discussion and action on Americans with Disability Act grievance policy and complaint form.
Okay, Council and Mayor, we underwent a recent TxDOT ADA compliance audit that identified several deficiencies that we need to address. Basically, TxDOT has a civil rights division requiring state agencies to monitor us as a subrecipient, which we are. Bottom line is that we need to come up with a grievance policy and complaint form to be eligible for future grant funding. This grievance policy and complaint form actually identifies Jennifer Lynch as the ADA compliance coordinator and establishes a process for filing and responding to ADA grievances and/or complaints. And the policy is in your packets, and it's also up on the, well, that's the form, but the policies prior to that. Are any questions?
Anybody have any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move approval of the Americans with Disabilities Act grievance policy and complaint form as submitted.
Second,
Motion's been made and second. All in favor? Two. It's approved. Discussion. I got-
To approve going forward. You have to restate. Motion's made and seconded to, yeah. Oh, you did?
We did.
Okay. My apologies. We're just getting through some procedural things. We're good.
Discussion and action on non-discrimination policy that meets the requirements of Title II of the American with Disabilities Act of 1990, ADA. Note, employment grievances and non-discrimination policies fall under Title I.
Similar to the prior agenda item, this is also a requirement to receive future grant funding. Approving this non-discrimination policy will help meet the requirements as specified by Text Civil Rights Division and the ADA.
Motion?
I make a motion that we approve a resolution establishing an accessibility task force to advance city.
No, you're on 12.
No, we're
On
on.
12, sorry, I thought we were on 13. A discussion and action, okay, I make a motion, we approve a non-discrimination policy that meets the requirements of Title II of the American with Disabilities Acts of 1990, ADA.
Mayor, I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor? It's approved. Discussion and action on a resolution establishing accessibility task force to advance citywide Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA compliance, support policy expansion, promote accessibility city design, identify economic development opportunities, and incorporate lived experiences in decision-making. Take it away.
All right, Mayor and Council, this actually will signify your commitment to ADA compliance and accessibility throughout the community. There's been several meetings held with the community, well attended, by the way, to get ideas, what's working, what needs work. And this establishes a 12-member task force that has already been identified and will allow us to continue making improvements and soliciting ideas from the citizens on how to make our community more ADA accessible. Anything else, Judy?
Where did? Come up to the microphone.
One of the important aspects of this resolution and the formation of this task force is that it helps us implement the Libraries Transforming Communities Accessibility in Small and Rural Communities grant that we received a couple months ago from the American Library Association. We've already had a couple meetings, and the people on this task force will be a big help in making sure that we are hearing the voices of the community members who are impacted by our decisions.
And I think you'd agree, we've made extreme strides to try to improve accessibility through our community in the past 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely. And it's a big part of what we're hearing is that we don't just have to comply with the ADA compliance, Americans with Disabilities Act, but we can do more to build community.
Agree. Okay. Thank you. Please.
The next meeting, when you're having, I'm sorry, my bad. I want to keep it in the public.
The next meeting was put on hold until we hear if this resolution is passed, and if we form the task force, then we will plan the next meeting.
Okay, we're ready.
I make a motion to approve a resolution establishing an accessibility task force to advance citywide Americans with Disabilities Act compliance, support policy expansion, promote accessible city design, identify economic development opportunities, and incorporate lived experiences in decision-making.
Very good.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. All in favor?
Mayor,
Okay. Motion been made and seconded, and we have discussion.
I'm confused. The task force is already appointed?
The wording of the resolution asks that the city council or the city of Smithville form this task force. I already have 13 volunteers who have said they wanted to serve on this task force. And there are a couple business owners that we've spoken to, but we're waiting to confirm that the resolution is passed before we assign them, ask them to serve on the task force.
Will we be responsible for approving those appointments?
Task forces, as I understand, are not required for council. It would be an advisory board if it was, that would require council approval. But this is a task force.
Thank you.
Are you good? So everything remains as it is written? No changes? Okay, so I have a first and a second. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, passes. No.
14.
Discussion and action license agreement at 401 Main Street to allow a fence to encroach onto the city property.
All right, Mayor, Council, and citizens, there's a diagram on the screen. Basically, this is a license to encroach 10 feet into the city right of way. There are city utilities within their property line, and approving this will allow them to go 10 feet into our city right of way. And there's some good photos here about, we've got guy wires and poles and this, that, and the other. The license agreement, should you approve it, will require, if the fence, they'd like to put a fence up. And I'm going to butcher your names, Leslie Ann and John Christopher Mellenbrook.
Would you come up to the mic,
Here,
please?
if you'd like to give a little more information about this particular item.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I don't think you're on.
There we go.
Sorry.
Thank you for y'all's consideration of this matter. Wanting to basically just put a fence up, and in the process of looking at the property line and putting it on the property line, there is a heritage oak tree, the large oak tree that it runs, the property line runs right through the middle, as well as there are two guy wires on that terminal pole in the background there. And looking at putting the fence in, we would have to work around that tree or up to it and trying to kind of avoid that, the root system, so forth of that. Also, we would have to navigate around one of those guy wires in the back, basically cutting the fence to get around it, that type of a thing. And just looking for a sensible solution. We thought perhaps, we can move it further onto our property, but there is a second guy wire that goes a little bit further out. You can see it at the back, and it would interfere with that one. So rather than going way inside, we looked at perhaps moving it over a little bit. That allows the fence to go underneath the guy wire, gives plenty of room for if anyone needs to do any repairs or anything like that. Also avoids that large oak tree. And so just looking for a sensible solution. I don't think, right now, the city is responsible for maintaining, or city property, so the city would be maintaining that particular area, but it obviously put underneath the fence, we can certainly maintain that part of it and the outside of it as well. So that's just kind of looking for a sensible solution on that place.
And then if the license to encroach agreement is approved, anything that may happen in the future that we have to,
Certainly, obviously, if it's the city owns the property, if the city needs to come put sidewalk in, anything like that, we just need to move the fence.
I guess you weren't around when the eminent domain was passed to put the guy wire on your property, so sorry about that.
And we like that you're gonna keep the tree, so.
Well,
Here either.
again, that's the sensible thing rather than, is that, it needs to have guy wires, and so it's got to go somewhere. So we understand that. So we can work around that.
Robert, I think that was when the city seeded the alley.
Stop it.
All right, somebody give me a motion.
Your alley, yeah.
My alley?
No.
I never mind.
I'm sorry, Mayor, but I have to abstain from this, from the potential appearance of a conflict of interest, because these will soon be my neighbors.
Look at you.
Hey, we're looking forward to that too.
Mayor,
I was gonna say
Make a
something
motion.
up there, but go ahead.
Discussion and action, oh, no, I'm sorry, I read too much. I make a motion for a license agreement at 401 Main Street to allow fence to encroach onto the city property.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made in second. All in favor? And Mitch Jameson did not vote because they'll be his neighbors. And it's approved. Thank you. Look forward to getting to know you.
Appreciate it. Members,
Discussion and action on an ordinance amending, discussion and action on an ordinance amending ordinance 2024-663, chapter 14, zoning master table of uses to correct an error. Go ahead.
yeah, Mayor and council and citizens, this was done when we updated the chapter 14. The X was placed in the wrong box. You know, basically as it looks now, or it states now, you could put a manufactured home in the townhome district. So we want to move the box or the X over to the right one where it's supposed to go, under the mixed residential MR zoning category.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion. Just an error that we need to correct. Someone read me a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion on an ordinance amending ordinance 2024-663, chapter 14, zoning master table of uses to correct an error.
Second.
Motion been made in second. All in favor? It's approved. Discussion and action on a resolution to amend rates of city services for mechanical, HVAC, and pool inspections.
Okay,
Take it away.
Council and Mayor, the master table of rates for the city services is included in your packets. Basically, we would like to add a fee for mechanical HVAC and pool inspections. The proposed rates are $200 for HVAC inspections and $150 for pool inspections respectively. If you have any questions regarding as to why this is necessary, Mr. Doug Berrien, our
Come on
building
down.
inspector, is here to answer questions.
Y'all got any questions? It's pretty cut and through.
I do have one question. I know this is mainly because of 2021. Buildings are getting tighter. 2021 building code, right?
Hello. It's the only licensed trade that's not inspected right now.
I know as you get closer to the current year, there's a lot more requirements of tightness of the building and blower door testing and stuff like that. Are you going to be validating those tests? Are you going to be performing those tests?
No, we're not going to perform tests. We're not going to be sizing the systems. Basically, and I know Jimmy wanted to comment. I don't know if you know, he's a licensed AC guy and a master plumber, but the biggest thing that I'm seeing is that there's no fresh air intake. So that can really cause a lot of pollution in a home. Some of the things it can do, fresh air intake is when you're taking air from the outside on the inside, because these houses, a lot of them are spray foamed, they're tight. So even in a non-spray foamed house, you still have to have it. And so, you can have air quality deterioration, pollutants build up, CO build up, mold, moisture issues, backdrafting issues, pressure imbalances. So there's a whole bunch of reasons. That's one of the main ones. Also, we're dealing with gas and carbon monoxide. A lot of the systems here are natural gas, which means they have a vent that gets up to 600 degrees, needs a clearance. Lots of times I see people spray insulation over the vent and it's combustible. And no one, we're not looking at it. And there's gas to the system as well. So those are some of the reasons that I feel as the building inspector that we should definitely look at it. I'm not going to be sizing the system, sizing the ducts or anything like that. We're basically going to be looking at the installation and making sure it has fresh air intake and everything's done, up to code. But I don't plan on unless something's blatantly incorrect, like 4,000 square foot house, 1 ton system, 1.5 ton system, then we'd look at that.
Doug, are we behind the curve on doing this, or is this just, why now?
I don't have that answer. I hate to say I'm the new guy, but I really don't know.
I'll answer that one. We are way behind the curve. We are working with a
Outdated.
old, outdated code.
Yes.
And we need to be coming up, any new houses, if we're going to grow, we need to have our code enforcement doing the current codes that meet current construction. And we definitely need that. One of the things is the new Freon. People don't know it, but it's slightly flammable. Okay, you have to have sensors everywhere, all this stuff. If we're not inspecting that, they're not gonna follow what they need to do. We need to make sure that we are correct in everything.
And what's the timeline on updating our building code, Robert?
We are 3 to 6 months out from getting that completed to the 2024 IBC.
And what one are we on now, Doug?
2006.
Yep.
So we're going to be hearing more from you as we get closer.
But he's very happy to be here.
Very happy.
Yes, you are.
I guess
Okay.
I just wanted to one more comment on that. I think that the comments that were being made between the two of you, I think is a very serious matter. I mean, it's the fresh air intake and then a lot of the gas heaters and stuff like that. It can allow for the bad draft of the gas fumes. And I think that is very much what we're trying to prevent among many things. I guess I was asking those questions because I just wanted to make sure that that cost was enough, because I know a lot of the HVAC systems, if the house is built to the 2021 code or 24 code, I thought it was 21, but if it's being built to that code, there is a lot of tightness restrictions, and your house has to be almost to a passive house standard. And I just want to make sure that we're ensuring that this is enough to make sure that the house is safe for the people.
Ensuring what, the cost?
That the cost is enough to be able to make sure that it is being inspected properly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really deal with the cost. That's a conflict of interest, so I don't get involved in that part of it. But
The inspection fee, I guess, what do other people charge for the similar inspection?
and I think Jennifer did some research on that.
We did look into that, but it's kind of, the 200 is consistent with our new home electric and new home plumbing is $200. So that's where we got it. We didn't want to charge any more than like a new home electric permit, which covers every electric inspection that they do. And then plumbing is the same way. So that's where we kind of stuck with the $200. If we want to raise rates later, we can definitely do that, but.
And one of the things about this, when you talk about all the inspections and things, whoever the installer is, they have to make sure that they follow what the HVAC law says, and they have to create all sorts of tables, make sure they silence their ducts, make sure they do everything right, make sure their fresh air intake, make sure they're aware of the energy codes that go with it. All of this is going to fall back on the guy that's actually doing the work. He's going to be inspecting it, make sure it meets the code that he can see, but they're going to be the ones that say, we did this to what it has to be.
Perfect.
Please. So for many of the older homes we have in town, including mine, that some of them are 80, 100 years old, what triggers the grandfather there, and what triggers the inspection?
Well, that's actually a good question on the older homes. If you were to get a new system, if your HVAC system went out, you wouldn't have to have fresh air intake in an older home unless it was remodeled and spray foamed. And that's why it's a kind of a new thing, because of the new energy codes. They're really tight now and they don't breathe like they used to. So obviously if it's an old home with no vapor barrier and you can see, you're up in the attic and you can see light outside, it wouldn't be an issue. Yep.
Very good.
Okay.
Will you give me a motion? Kathy, give me a motion, please.
I make a motion to amend the rates of city services for mechanical, HVAC, and pool inspections.
I'll second that.
A motion's been made and second. All in favor? It is approved. Discussion and action on a resolution supporting the nomination of Mayor Pro Tem Jimmy Jenkins as a candidate for Texas Municipal League President-elect. Can I give you a pen now?
Yeah, well, Councilor Mayor, and we did some research. I don't recall in the past decade or even since that anyone from
Jimmy.
the city of Smithville has served as the TML president. I could be wrong on that. I stopped in like 1905. I didn't go back to 1800, but yeah, this is quite an accomplishment, and you approving this resolution will allow him to be a potential candidate.
I've got some comments to add to that.
Sure.
If, Mayor, if I may, before we
Go ahead.
move in second, do you want to do that?
No, go ahead.
All right.
Oh, you got a whole letter.
Hey. To those of you who are left and those who are watching, a few years ago, Counselor Jenkins and I used to sit in the back row back there, attending all the various meetings from P and Z to council and workshops and all this stuff. And we wanted to learn how the city functioned, and we almost came simultaneously to the conclusion that we had something to offer and that we could better serve the community if we actually became counselors. So we sit here today in our third year of service to the community, Mr. Jenkins. But you have taken it to another level. And we've watched you extend yourself into other areas, and I personally have watched you put Smithville on the map in terms of the Texas Municipal League, TML, which we use as our guidelines on how we run the city. I've watched him interact with and socialize Smithville to the point that we actually are starting to be like, oh yeah, I know where you are. That's where Jimmy Jenkins is. But he made Smithville relevant. I'm not kidding y'all. I mean, when I talked to Jimmy about this, I said, man, I need 5 minutes because where am I? Am I 2.5? No, I'll stop now. But I mean, he's not only made Smithville relevant, but when he wins election as the president-elect of the TML, after his title, it'll say Smithville City Council. So we're important. He's put us on the map, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to win this election. And it is with great pride that I will be voting in favor of this resolution. I didn't move it. I'll just move it now. Yeah, that was my prelude. Yeah. If anybody's still awake. No, you are. I mean, I think I fired you up, all 6 of you out there, but. Mayor, I move we approve the resolution supporting the nomination of Mayor Pro Tem Jimmy Jenkins as a candidate for Texas Municipal League President-elect.
I second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor? Yay. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, we get on to something else. Thank you.
Oh, so awesome.
Your sunshine.
You little ray of sunshine, you. Discussion and action on ordinance of the city of Smithville, Texas, amending chapter 3, building code, article 3.02, construction codes and standards 3.02.032, division 2, building code to require CAD drawings.
All right, Mayor, Council, and citizens, these next 2 items are very similar. They just fall in different places within our ordinance. It basically, if you approve this ordinance, it will require all plans for commercial renovations, residential construction, and commercial construction to be submitted using computer-aided design format. No more plans on a napkin, okay?
Oh, I know, but it's such a sad ending.
It is. It's truly, that's growth is getting more complicated, and this will help expedite the third-party review process.
I know, all good things come to an end. I'll entertain a
I
motion.
don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but how much more is this going to cost someone to apply if they have to do CAD drawings?
It's gonna be,
I
It
mean,
depends on how big the set is. Now, it's going to cost more, but it's also the time delays in trying to understand what the developer intended with a non-CAD drawing has ended up costing
the city.
equal as much
sure.
in time and trying to figure out what did you really mean here? Doug, don't you agree?
Oh,
Yeah. Sure you are when I call you up.
So one of the biggest things I'm seeing is frustration from a lot of the citizens that are building because they're coming in with kind of a hand drawn, which I understand the expense. I mean, a lot of people don't know a CAD guy, right? And so, but what happens when it goes to third party review, they keep sending it back. And so it's back and forth. They're getting delayed. They're getting upset. And also we don't catch things because it's not all there. Whereas if you have a professional design it, it's going to be all there the first time. And it may be a little more expensive at first, but on the back end, I think you'll save time and money from the back and forth and frustration. So
actually cost more if you're doing that much back and forth, because that's cost every time that happens, correct?
Well, I don't think so on our part.
Just time delay?
Yeah.
CAD versus an
Napkin.
electronic drawing. No one's ever done napkin drawing. I just tried to bring a little levity to the group. CAD, it could be just something that clearly depicts the lines, whatever it may be, whether it's a bathroom, a ramp or whatever. So it doesn't have to be CAD. I don't know what version we're at now, but if you give us a PowerPoint presentation that has all the dimensional standards on it, I'm okay with that. So, it doesn't have to be a CAD program, but it does need to be an electronic drawing.
Is that what this says though?
I'm sorry, what?
Well,
That-
CAD,
that-
okay, yeah, I'm sorry, computer aided design CAD form. I'm just happy to get something that's not, but if CAD is going to be, yeah, I'll be quiet. CAD it is.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Doug?
I mean, yeah. Sorry. I think that this is a big burden for even a lot of the smaller home builders, because they're going to be, even if they're buying plans from an architect, those are just going to be blueprints. Those aren't going to be full 3D CAD like this is implying. And
Well, I don't know if it needs to be 3D CAD. I mean, it's just that the blueprints are fine, right, Robert? I mean,
It's
yeah,
not
that's
3D
fine.
CAD. I didn't mean to use the wrong terminology.
We're literally getting hand drawn like on a piece of loose leaf,
yeah,
for stuff like restaurants and stuff like that. And then, we're looking at it, then we send it to third party and they have a million questions and then we go back and ask them. And then it goes back to third party and then they have more questions and everyone just gets frustrated. So we said, let's just avoid this and have professional drawings. And most people that are building a house, if you're going to incur that expense, most people have some type of blueprints, which are fine. But that's a huge issue we run into. And like setbacks, like you were concerned about before, we don't know where. And so then we can get in trouble because if we approve it and say yes, and they build something crazy, then what do you do after it's built? I mean, we're looking at it throughout the process, but
so I guess just to clarify, this is not the more sophisticated CAD drawing.
no, like Robert said, you could do it on your own computer. You definitely could, and so it would be pretty easy. We just don't want the hand drawn on a piece of notebook paper anymore.
Okay.
So if you have a language that's clear, because I don't want people to think you have to do a 3D CAD drawing. That's not the intent. Can you live with it as it is? And we can explain as we go? Because blueprints is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
How about we put it as the drawings meet the minimum requirements of a standard CAD drawing? That would give them a lot of leeway in it of a standard, not your, going way. We put it as.
Well, CAD just means a computer assisted drawing, right? We're not really, I guess there's room for the definition, but
Yeah, there are so many different ways to do CAD. That's just, it
I
really is.
I appreciate your concern and however you would like us to word it where you're more comfortable with it, but I see what you're talking about. It's kind of a formal thing that's kind of scary, like, oh, I got to have a CAD. What's CAD?
Exactly. Yeah.
We're moving forward with design work that you're going to be doing when you're building a home or whatever, as we've just talked about all the things that are changing in the code and everything else. You're almost going to have some sort of basic blueprint drawing, even to do a remodel, because everything you're putting in it is up to a new code that is way more sophisticated.
And I
We need to
completely
get
agree.
ahead of the curve here, because as Robert said, we've, and certain actions in the past, the city's been sued over this. We need to make sure that we're not the one bearing the burden.
How about if I put a / blueprint format?
I think that works. I just want to make sure that it's
Okay, so computer aided design / blueprint format. Is that acceptable?
digital produce,
Digital. Well,
digital blueprint.
Yeah, digital works.
Yeah.
Ooh.
okay.
You want me to make this for you? Okay.
Okay. 'cause
Or-
we're
Thank you, Jim.
you're
Thank you.
defeated.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
take
Here we
care of
go.
that.
You ready?
I'll make a motion that we approve an ordinance for the city of Smithville amending chapter 3 Building Code, Article 3.02 Construction Code and Standard 3.02032 Building or Division 2 Building Code to require CAD or
Blueprint.
digital blueprint drawings.
Or digital format.
Digital format, excuse me. You got that?
Okay, so he made a motion. I need a second.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? It is approved, and the motion will stand as, and I need you to reread it.
Okay. The motion will stand as an ordinance of the city of Smithville, Texas, amending chapter 3, building code, article 3.02, construction codes and standards 3.02.032, division 2, building code to require CAD or digital blueprint.
Digital format.
Digital format drawings.
Okay, we got it. Check it off the list. Discussion and action on an ordinance of the city of Smithville, Texas, amending Exhibit 10A subdivision ordinance, Article 2, Section 2.1 of the City of Smithville Code of Ordinances to require CAD drawings
Or digital format.
or digital format.
And you can say, see above. No, kidding.
All right.
So you have to
read it-
make the same motion.
So read it again, Jimmy.
Okay, hold on just a
I
moment.
know, it's write all this stuff.
There's two sections of this So for full disclosure here, there's two sections that this addresses in our ordinances. It's the chapter 3 building code and then again, chapter 10 subdivision ordinance. So those two sections had to be modified to include computer aided design or digital format.
Yes,
Okay.
read it.
I make a motion on an ordinance to approve a motion of the city of Smithville, Texas, amending Exhibit 10A subdivision ordinance, Article 2, Section 2.1 of the city of Smithville Code of Ordinance to require CAD or digital drawings.
Format.
Digital
Form-
format drawings.
Format drawings. Boy, I can't get it right.
It's okay.
I'm just
Give me a-
messing this up.
Give me a second there, Tyrone.
I'll second that motion.
A motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Hello, Kathy.
Kathy.
Mo. All right. You're okay. So now we're approved, and since we changed it, you have to read it again and get
Yes.
digital format.
Yes, ma'am, a digital format drawing.
Digital format drawings. Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead, go.
The ordinance reads, ordinance of the city of Smithville, Texas, amending Exhibit 10A subdivision ordinance, Article 2, Section 2.1 of the city of Smithville Code of Ordinances to require CAD or digital format drawings.
Oh, that was good. Wow.
I'm tired.
No, can't be tired yet. Discussion and action on an ordinance amending Chapter 13, City of Smithville Code of Ordinances to amend Section 13.05004 to mandate the installation of clean out for sewer lines during installation or replacement of lateral sewer lines.
Okay.
Take it away.
Eric, well, here he comes. All right.
So fast tonight.
I'll turn the microphone over to Mr. Barry Ann.
Okay, so this is something we've been doing for a long time, but it wasn't really ever an ordinance, but most of the local plumbers knew to do it. And it came from Jack, he asked us to put, if we're doing a new sewer line, a new house is installed or a new sewer line, not a repair. And you're going all the way to the street, just throw in a clean out, and which is access for, like I don't know what a sewer, I call it a snake, but sewer equipment to clean it out. That way the city, two reasons. One, a lot of our pipes get backed up on the city side and everyone always thinks it's the city. So the utility department can go out and look down the clean out. And if they see water in there, then they know it's probably backed up there. And if not, it's on the property owner's side. So that's one good thing. And then also they don't have to go on the citizen's property, get bit by a dog or climb a fence or something. So it's something we always did.
So we're putting there'll be two clean outs, one at the house and
Yes.
one outside the fence right by the sewer line.
Yes, and they usually use that hydrojetter and they just put it down there and clean
Absolutely.
it out.
Because they're all up and down my alley.
And like I said, we've been doing it for like 10 years around here, but I ran into a case the other day where it was a plumber who didn't know it and it's not an ordinance. And I went to inspect it and I was like, what about the cleaning? He's like, I didn't know anything about that. And he was right. I mean, it wasn't anywhere in the code or ordinance, so.
Very good. Good catch. Okay.
And now you're entertaining a motion?
Entertain a motion. Thank you for catching that.
Mayor, I move approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 13, City of Smithville Code of Ordinances to amend Section 13.05.004 to mandate the installation of a cleanout for sewer lines during installation or replacement of lateral sewer lines.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and second. All in favor? It is approved. Here comes to our favorite time of the night. Discussion and action on approval of the financial report. Welcome, Cynthia.
She says they're so patient.
She's a patient person.
Yeah. Okay, you should have in your packets the June financial statement. As you can see, currently our revenues are at the 12.4 million, almost at the 75% that we need to be at this time of the year. Our overall expenses are below that, which is good. I don't know if you noticed the reserves improved on the utility fund, and of course, the general fund is going to continue to kind of come down as we've stopped collecting a lot of the revenue. But I don't know, I didn't see anything that, of any concern. Maybe rain stopping people from watering the grass, so we may not get much water, but we'll see. But I don't know if y'all had any specific questions or concerns.
I've got one question, Cynthia, on tax note series 2022 expenses, including architect service 10% match for TDA Innovation Center grant, 5,247. How much is left on that match, or is this just are we paying it as the bills come in?
Yeah, just as the bills come in, there was enough match that was set aside for what the grant was given. So as we get the bills, as they're doing the construction, the bills are coming in. And so that match is being paid with the balance. There's enough sitting in that. Basically, the only thing left in the 22 tax note is the money set aside for that match.
That was my question. Thanks.
Anybody else have a question? I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the financial report.
Second.
Motion been made and second. All in favor? It is approved.
Good job, y'all. Jonas.
I don't know, did I have any announcement or lost your piece of paper? Okay, well, I'm just gonna tell a funny that happened while I'm up here today, and then I'm gonna adjourn. I get a text from my daughter-in-law that one of her kids was bit by a squirrel. A squirrel. I said, is he okay? How did he get bit? He shot it, it was still alive, and he picked it up and it bit him. And on that note, we're gonna adjourn.